gate that we're standing at is a fair representation of what we call the college gate at Ohio University. And right here beside the college gate, you see a sign over there that says Ohio University Second Life Campus, Community Standards and Privacy Statement. While we're here, I want to direct your attention to that. And if you want to go ahead and click on it on your end, you'll see a note card come up, and it says Community Standards for all visitors. And I want to tell you a little of the story behind why this is here, and why it's a good idea as you go ahead and build your campus, that you have some sort of statement like this that assigns the rules of your particular area. It doesn't have to be like ours, but certainly you're going to have rules that are important to your particular culture. We put this together right after, and I'm not sure what month it was, but I do know this. It was 2 days after the Virginia Tech shooting. We had a partner, Gardner Research, who was working in one of our buildings on campus, and they were having a meeting, and an avatar came in and pulled out a gun and began shooting at them. Now, obviously, no damage was done physically, but psychologically, as some of you may already know, being in Second Life and communicating and collaborating with people has a completely different psychological aspect, and that psychologically things feel a little bit more real than where you on the 2D web. So there were, being that it was a very sensitive time, there were some people who were a bit upset about it. We took the opportunity to close our 2 islands down and to get all the stakeholders together, which at the time was the folks from computer science and ourselves, and decided, okay, this is going to begin getting traffic, and it could also begin, with the attention, getting what are called griefers. And anybody who's in the world knows that, the griefers exist. They're the people who like to kind of do fun things like shoot at people or create self-replicating objects or other type of malicious activities. But we wanted to create at least a start on some rules that the visitors to our campus and students on our campus would have to abide by. We found the simplest thing to do was to just tie back to our real world code of conduct, and then fill in some of the holes in Second Life, of the possibilities in Second Life. So, weapons and not building in certain areas, not assigned to you. You can take a look at those rules and see what might fit your build or what might not fit your build. But these are things that you probably want to start thinking about from the beginning, as opposed to having to react like we did. For us, it was new ground. But more and more, the more people that are in there, the more people are learning and having to react to things. So as you go in now, you can kind of prepare for some of these things. Now, all that said, griefers have not been a big problem for us. I think perhaps on my master list of avatars who've been removed over a year and a half, I might have 5 names. So it is not, despite what you might read in the media, it is not a major issue on our campus. It certainly is a greater issue in parts of the main grid where there is lots and lots of traffic and commerce going on. But we have not had an immense problem with griefers. I think for us, possibly the rule that's broken the most is people not cleaning up after themselves. You'll have people rezzing objects or building, and they just leave it there, so we end up having to clean up for them. But that happens in the real world too. So,
Chris?
Yes.
Do you know of any research yet out on the psychological impact of being in Second Life?
I do know it's going on. I don't have a name for you off the top of my head. And I would assume that there was probably, before Second Life, I'm sure there was research done on the psychological impact of just being in virtual environments, period. You might, if you're looking for that research, broaden your search to psychological impact in virtual environments as opposed to just using the word Second Life. And that's something else I think it's important to mention. While Second Life is the buzzword now, and that is the virtual world that we're working in, and it is the most ubiquitous and platform agnostic at the time. Second Life is just the beginning in a much greater movement towards 3D web and a 3D browser. And at the moment, IBM, companies like IBM and Cisco are putting a lot of heat on some of the virtual world platforms, such as Second Life, Active Worlds, and others, to make their platforms more interoperable, so that we can move away from having these kind of island platforms that you can't get out of and move assets from, to having a fully functioning and tied together 3D internet. So really, I always feel it's important to put Second Life into that bigger picture. I view Second Life as the Prodigy and CompuServe of the early 90s. It is very much like that. It's a great platform. It's great for educators because it's platform agnostic. However, at the same time, I think we always have to keep in mind the bigger picture, that it might not be Second Life in 2 years, or it could be, Second Life brought to you by Google. But there's a lot going on in the movement towards 3D web, and this is just a small part of that. So yeah, I mean, again, I would broaden your search to virtual worlds and psychological impact, and I think you might find more results on that.
Thank you.